Hey everyone, Karen here, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I thought it would be a fun little video just to go through and show you my palette collection. I have roughly 30 of them, one of which I should probably declutter. I've had it for a while now. It's something that I picked up at Ross, and I really only ever use it when I do my daughter's makeup for her dance recitals. So, kind of not sure what to do with it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the palettes. The first palette is one that everyone has. It's not a surprise to see this little baby in my collection. This is the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia. It still looks brand new. Mostly, like, the only one that looks really used is Primavera and Tempera. But I really like it. It's good for neutrals. It's good for like a nice pinky look. The next one I have is another Anastasia one, and this is the Prism palette. This is what that one looks like right here. I have the most use in the shade Eternal, which I think is just this really, really beautiful bronzy shimmer. Other than that, mostly used Lure and Eden. I really do like this. It's fun. It's got some nice fun pops of color in it. It's a nice one to have. This next one I think is possibly on its last legs because it's just not really performing like it used to. And this is my Naked 3 palette. I wore this the other day because I put this in my 50 Shades of Pink project pan and I really struggled with it. So this one might need to go soon because it might be, it may be expired. The next two are both from Too Faced. I have the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette, which is this one right here. My absolute favorite shade in this is the shade Hot Toddy. It's this beautiful like duochrome pink. I'm gonna see if I can actually get a good swatch on this. But that's what that looks like. And I freaking love it. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's my absolute favorite shade in there. I've been really enjoying that one, although I haven't played around with it quite enough. And then I also have the Extra Spicy, which has some really fun warm tones in here. This dark one over here is one that I don't know if I'm really going to use because it looks like it's got a black base, and dark eyeshadows kind of intimidate me. This next one is the Rimmel London Magnifies Spice Edition. I bought this one because Emily Noel said that she found this to be a dupe for the Naked Heat palette. And I like it. It's not like my favorite palette, but it does get some use. These next two are unique palettes because once upon a time I actually used to be a unique presenter. This is their Moodstruck Beloved palette. Looks like this. This used to be one of my favorite shades because it swatches so beautifully, but for some reason I have really been struggling to get this to show up well on the eyes. No matter what I do, I've tried using my finger, I have tried using a wet brush, I've tried a dry brush, I've tried a fluffy brush, I've tried a small dense brush, and nothing really seems to be working. And then this other one is one where you build it yourself, and I just built this fun little fall palette, mostly because the shade right here I really wanted. It's called Fervent, and I just wanted a nice burgundy in my collection. I have two of the Natasha Denona mini palettes. This is the newest one. This is the Mini Retro, and I've got to tell you, this is freaking gorgeous. I absolutely love this palette. Even with 5 shades, I feel like there's more versatility in there than I expected. And then I also have the mini Leela palette. And this is another one that's really pretty. I love this duochrome kind of purplish blue. Really pretty, very glittery, and one that I really like. It's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted the palette. I have one of the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadows. This is in the shades Berry Bad, and I will be completely honest with you. I went onto e.l.f.'s website, and I'm pretty sure I ordered like every other color story that they had because I really like them. I feel like the quality is just really, really good, and I like having them as little accent palettes. This next palette is the Tartist Pro To Go palette. I believe I got this in a subscription box. I just don't remember which one. It still smells like that signature Tarte. But I really like this. This is just a really easy, neutral palette. It's good for traveling. Not that anybody is traveling much, and not that I do travel much even when we can travel. But this next one I know I got in a BoxyCharm. This is the Pretty Vulgar Nightingale palette. This is what this looks like. And I feel like this is just a really, really pretty palette. It's got some nice cool tones in there. I actually wore this when I did my makeup for the Marine Corps birthday ball. I did that, and I also added in this Super Shock shadow. This is the Ultra Glitter in the shade Amaze. And this is so pretty. Like, it's just gorgeous. It's so reflective. I love it. I actually only have 2 Super Shock shadows, and that's the one I use the most because the other one, for whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to get it in like hot pink. And I don't really wear hot pink. All right, another subscription box palette. This is the Crown Pro Glam Metals. This really only has one matte, which is this black shade down here. But I love to dip into this for accents. These two like grayish, cool toned, bluey gray colors are really, really gorgeous. Love those. I have 2 palettes from Pure. This one I got in a FabFitFun box, and this is the Be Your Selfie palette. Really pretty, neutral, rosy tones. There's some nice glitters in there. Not glitters. Shimmers. Whew, my brain's not working today. And this other one, this one's kind of getting old. This is the Pure and BoxyCharm. So obviously I got this in BoxyCharm. I don't use this a ton, and when I do, I stick a lot to these shades. I've used these two a couple of times, but not enough to really have an opinion on it. And then I only have 2 ColourPop palettes, which I really want to remedy that. There are a couple of the 9-pan monochromatic palettes that I really want to look at getting, especially the Mint to Be palette. I think it just looks absolutely gorgeous. But I have, this is the ColourPop Villains Misunderstood palette. It's what this looks like right here. And I love this palette. I think it is wonderful. It doesn't have quite enough mattes for me because there's really only 4 true mattes. There's a white, there's this warm toned brown, this really just basic cream shade, and then this black. And this one, this blue one, the Fates, actually isn't even true matte because it has some shimmers in it. And then the other one is my other ColourPop palette, also came from a BoxyCharm. And it's the My Little Pony palette. This is what it looks like inside. I love this palette. I think the quality of it is really good. I love the color story. I use almost all of the colors in here. This one right here is one of my favorite shades. I'm gonna run out of space. But that's what that looks like. It's kind of just this icy mint shade, and I think it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I have two of the Persona palettes. I have both the Identity palette, which is right here, which is just your basic neutral palette. I think it's absolutely stunning though. I absolutely love this palette, especially the shimmers in here. I just think they're beautiful. And I really like to use Fearless, this dark one up here, as a liner when I don't want to have a really stark black liquid liner. And then I have the Identity 2 palette, and don't let it fool you, I did not pan this black. It actually came to me broken. And when I reached out to Ulta, like I assumed they were gonna have me return this one, and they did not. They sent a replacement. So I actually have two of these palettes. One of them obviously has not been opened, but I love this. I love to layer these shades. Layering this green and this gold together is really, really beautiful. It's kind of just this kind of smoky, grungy color, and I am totally down for that. Another BoxyCharm palette. This is the Alamar Reina del Caribe. I'm actually wearing this on my eyes today. I used Cocoa Taxi in the crease. Cafecito is in the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. And then I have La Costa all over the lid. And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love having that in my collection. And then I was supposed to be on a no-buy this year. And I kind of decided to throw that out the window. And I am back with BoxyCharm, and my first month back, I got the premium BoxyCharm and Fenty. So I got this, which I'm gonna try not to blind you. This is the Fenty Moroccan Spice Palette. I've only used it a handful of times, but from what I've used it so far, I'm enjoying it. I do need to play around with it some more. I have 3 magnetic palettes because I decided to depot some of my shadows. Most of these are just kind of like singles, but these right up here, those 6 came from a BoxyCharm, and that's the Laura Lee Party Animal palette. I haven't used it all that much. I don't do a whole lot of those tones on my eyes right now. This is an Urban Decay shadow. This is a single of Natasha Denona. This is Phlox from the Sunrise palette. So that's in this one. This magnetic palette, let's see if we can do this without everything falling over. This one has, this is a unique palette that I depotted. This is their anniversary palette. It's one I don't reach for a lot because, once again, it's very, very dark, and all of the shades, like, they're glittery, but they're all like a black base. And then these 10 up here are the Urban Decay smoked, not the smoky, the smoked palette. This one came in like a little zipper. And I've had that for forever. Ooh, excuse me. All right, and then this other magnetic palette, which I don't even really have to open, but we're going to anyways. These are all unique palettes. There's palette 1, palette 2, 3, and 5, I believe. I know there's one that I don't have, and I'm fairly certain that it's palette 4 that I didn't have. I have pan in 1 shade. Some of these got a little beat up as I was depotting them, but that's what all of these are. And then I only have a few more. This one I mostly, well, there's the next 2 I mostly bought for the packaging, but I do like the color story. This is the Storybooks Cosmetics Witchcraft and Wizardry palette. Words are not coming to me. And this is what it looks like. I think that it's really, really beautiful. I have not played with it enough. I have used this shade Potions a few times. I've used Jinx a couple times. There's really only 2 true matte shades in here, and that's Broomstick and Cloak. The rest of them all have some form of glitter or shimmer in them, but the quality is really good and I've really enjoyed what I've used so far. I just have not used it enough. The next one I bought this because I was in love with the packaging and I got it years ago, but I was actually on the fence about whether I wanted to depot it or not, or if I wanted to get rid of it because I don't really support the brand. This is the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. Do not get me wrong, these colors are gorgeous. I love these 2 toppers up here. Absolution and Rapture are just phenomenal. And if I didn't have so many shades in here that I don't have throughout the rest of my collection, I possibly would have considered getting rid of it, but I also did spend $60 on it and I want to get my money's worth. So keeping this one, and I just need to pull it out and use it and enjoy it and get my money's worth. All right, next palette. This is the one that I was talking about that I keep solely to do my daughter's makeup for her recitals. She does dance and she does gymnastics, and we do have to do makeup for the recitals. But this is their 3rd edition, 120 colors. So you have all of these, and then this lifts up and you have the rest down there. I am not huge on the formula, and I think that's what keeps me from using this the most. I just really don't like this formula. I find it very difficult to work with, very difficult to blend. I did buy it at Ross, so it could just be that it's old. But yeah, this is one that I am strongly considering decluttering. And we are down to my last 3 palettes. Another one that you will see in so many people's collections. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, and this is before they re-released it. This is the original release. There has been some rumors, I guess, that things got reformulated after the re-release, and things, they don't swatch the same. I actually watched a whole video on it from Jen Loves Reviews. But I do enjoy this palette, and I always pull this palette out and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this great colorful look, and then I like stick in the shades up here and everything ends up being neutral. So there's that one. And then I have another BoxyCharm palette. This is one of my most recent ones. This is the actual BoxyCharm palette. This is their brand, their formula and everything. I've used it twice, I think, and I didn't mind it. I didn't find it to be amazing, but it wasn't bad either. This shade here, Swipe Up, it's freaking gorgeous, but it is straight glitter. Like, you can feel the glitter chunks in it. So I don't know that that is one that I am ever actually going to put on my eyes. But I'm going to play around with it some more and figure it out, because I really need to get better about decluttering things that don't work for me and not just feeling like I need to keep and finish everything because I bought it. All right, last palette out of my 30 palettes. This is the Beauty Bakery Proof is in the Puddin' palette. This is what it looks like inside. Again, it's just a wonderful neutral palette. I have so many neutral palettes, it's not even funny. I adore the shimmers in this palette. And this shade right here, Warm Cocoa, it's this really nice, warm, reddy brown that is absolutely phenomenal. I reach into it a lot just for that color to use with other colors to kind of smoke things out. And that's it. that is my entire palette collection for now. I do have more coming my way. Like I said, I bought 7 more of these little e.l.f. ones. I literally will have all 8 of the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes because I just really loved the formula. Anyways, that is all I have for you today. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up, and I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in my next video.